There I was, standing in a cold, dimly lit bathroom at 2 a.m., sweat dripping down my palms. I looked at the man in the mirror and I said, "You are not a failure. You are just learning." I wasn't talking to a friend, Luna. I was talking to the only person who could truly change my destiny, myself.
That is such a powerful image, Elias. Welcome to the show. Today, we are exploring the mirror technique, the ultimate psychological hack to practice speaking English when you have absolutely no one else to talk to. I'm Luna, and we are diving deep into how your own reflection can become your most honest teacher. Elias, most people feel silly talking to themselves. Why was that 2 a.m. moment the climax of your journey?
Because, Luna, for years I was paralyzed by the fear of judgment. I realized that if I couldn't look myself in the eye and speak my truth, even in a broken language, I would never have the courage to speak to the world. The mirror isn't just glass and silver, it's a feedback loop for the soul.
I love that! A feedback loop for the soul. Today, we're going to show you exactly how to use that loop to master English. Elias, I have a big question for our listeners today. Many of them tell me they feel self-conscious when they try to speak English. They feel shy, even when they are alone. How does looking at a mirror actually help with that feeling of being judged?
That's a great word, Luna. Self-conscious. When you are self-conscious, you are too worried about what people think. But here's the secret. The mirror is a safe space. It is your personal laboratory. When you look at yourself, you start to see the physical side of language, not just the grammar.
I mean, like seeing how my mouth moves or my facial expressions?
Exactly. In English, we have specific sounds like the TH sound or the R that can be very tricky for the muscles in your face. When you practice in front of the mirror, you can actually see if your tongue is in the right place. You aren't just hearing the mistake, you're seeing the movement. It helps you connect your brain to your body.
That is such a smart insight. It's like having a coach that looks exactly like you. Okay, everyone, let's do our first vocabulary checkpoint.
We have three key terms here. First, self-conscious, feeling nervous because you think people are judging you. Second, breakthrough, a sudden and important discovery or progress. And third, articulation, the clear and distinct way you move your mouth to make sounds.
I love those. Articulation is a game changer. Now, I want to engage our community. Listeners, stop what you're doing for a second. I want you to leave a comment right now. Have you ever tried talking to yourself in the mirror? Did you feel silly or did you have a breakthrough? Tell us the very first sentence you said to your reflection.
I remember mine. I looked at myself and said, "Elias, your English is a work of art in progress." It changed my whole day.
Elias, you mentioned that the mirror is a feedback loop. That is such a fascinating concept, but I want to peel back the layers here. For our listeners who are reaching that B2 level, they aren't just looking for basic words anymore. They want to understand the psychology of communication. Can you take us into the deep end? How does this technique actually rewire our brains to be more confident in a second language?
I would be honored, Luna. To understand this, we have to talk about a concept called cognitive reframing. You see, when we speak a foreign language, our inner critic is usually screaming. It's that voice in your head saying, "You sound stupid," or "Your accent is too thick." When you stand in front of a mirror, you are performing a physical act that forces you to confront that critic face to face.
I've felt that. It's like there is a wall between what I want to say and what actually comes out of my mouth. It's a very lonely feeling, isn't it?
It is, but here is the storytelling part of my journey. 10 years ago, I was asked to give a keynote speech in London. Even though I'm a native speaker, I was dealing with a massive amount of social anxiety at the time. I was terrified of being exposed as someone who didn't belong on that stage. I spent 3 weeks talking to my reflection in a hotel mirror. I wasn't just practicing the speech, I was practicing my presence.
Presence. That is a powerful word. What does that mean in the context of learning English?
It means being fully grounded in your body while you speak. In psychology, we talk about proprioception, the sense of self-movement and body position. When you speak English to a mirror, you are training your brain to associate the sounds of English with your own physical image. You stop seeing English as something external that belongs to Americans or British people, and you start seeing it as something that belongs to you. It becomes part of your identity.
That is a huge aha moment for me, Elias. It's about ownership. Many students feel like they are borrowing English, like they are wearing a costume that doesn't fit. But when you see your own eyes light up as you explain a complex idea, even if you make a mistake, you realize the language is just a tool for your beautiful mind.
Exactly. And let's get into the nitty-gritty of the technique because I want the listeners to have a roadmap. I call it the three-mirror method.
Oh, I love a good method. Tell us more.
First, you have the narrative mirror. This is where you simply narrate your day in the third person while looking at yourself. Elias is brushing his teeth now. He's feeling a bit tired, but he's ready to conquer the day. This helps with fluency and basic sentence structure.
And it makes you the main character of your own story. I love that. What's the second one?
The second is the emotional mirror. This is much harder. You have to tell yourself a story about something that made you angry, sad, or incredibly happy. You watch how your face changes. In English, we use a lot of facial expressions to convey meaning. If you're saying you're thrilled but your face looks like you're reading a grocery list, the communication is broken. This mirror helps you align your emotions with your vocabulary.
That's deep. It's like emotional intelligence training through English. And a third mirror?
With the third is the debate mirror. You take a controversial topic, maybe something about the environment or technology, and you argue against yourself. You play both sides. You have to use linking words like however, on the other hand, and nevertheless. You watch yourself become a persuasive communicator. This is where the B2 student becomes a C1 master. You are no longer just using words, you are wielding them like a professional.
Wielding words. What a brilliant image. It reminds me of the concept of neuroplasticity. By doing this, we are literally building new pathways in our brain. We are telling our nervous system that speaking English is a safe, normal, and even powerful thing to do.
You hit the nail on the head, Luna. We are desensitizing the fear response. The mirror doesn't judge. It doesn't roll its eyes if you forget a preposition. It just reflects. When you finally step out into the real world to talk to a native speaker or a colleague, your brain says, hey, I've seen this guy speak English before. He's actually pretty good at it.
I think this is the missing link for so many people. They study the books, they do the apps, but they never face themselves. Elias, this is incredibly prolix in its wisdom. I want to take a moment to let that sink in for everyone. We are truly entering the deep waters now. For those of you listening who are reaching for that C1 fluency, you know it isn't just about being understood anymore. It's about nuance, sophistication, and the ability to navigate complex social landscapes with ease. Elias, how does the mirror technique help someone bridge that gap between functional English and truly masterful communication?
That is a profound question, Luna. At the C1 level, we're dealing with the subtleties of human interaction. When you are advanced, you're not searching for the word happy. You're choosing between ecstatic, jubilant, or content. The mirror allows you to practice congruence. This is the alignment between your internal state, your verbal output, and your nonverbal cues. If there is a disconnect, your audience will perceive it as a lack of authenticity or worse, imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome is such a massive hurdle. That feeling that you are a fraud because your English isn't perfect, even when you are actually quite eloquent. How do we use the mirror to dismantle that?
You use it to observe your micro-expressions. When you speak a difficult sentence in English, does your forehead furrow in frustration? Do you look away? These are physical manifestations of linguistic insecurity. By practicing in the mirror, you recode those physical responses. You learn to maintain a composed, confident demeanor even when you're searching for a high-level idiom. You're practicing the art of the conversation, not just the mechanics.
I love that. It's about the aesthetic of speech. Okay, it's time for our golden word of the day. This is a word that will instantly elevate your vocabulary. Elias, what is it?
The golden word is congruence. Congruence. In psychology, it means your outward expression perfectly matches your inner feelings. In English mastery, it means your voice, your face, and your words are all telling the same powerful story.
Congruence. Use that in a business meeting and people will stop and listen. Now it's time for our community challenge. This is where you put the mirror to work.
Here is your mission. Find a mirror. Set a timer for 2 minutes. I want you to look yourself in the eye and explain, out loud, one thing you are deeply proud of achieving this year. Use at least one C1 word like meticulous, resilient, or transformative. Do not look away. Do not stop talking.
I love this challenge. It's about facing your own greatness in a second language. Post the word you used and how it felt in the comments below. Elias, I think we are ready to recap these powerful tools. It's time for our word tour. This is the high energy part of the show where we take the most powerful concepts we discussed today and lock them into your memory with a fast, rhythmic recap. Elias, are you ready to fire these off for our listeners?
I am ready, Luna. Let's make these words stick so they can start using them today.
Number 1, self-conscious. This is that nagging feeling of being watched or judged by others. Example, I used to feel so self-conscious speaking in meetings, but now I focus on my value instead of my fear.
Number 2, articulation. This is the physical clarity and precision of your speech. Example, daily practice in the mirror improved my articulation of those difficult vowel sounds significantly.
Number 3, proprioception. This is your brain's awareness of your body's movement and position. Example, speaking to a mirror increases your proprioception, making English feel like a physical part of you.
Number 4, our golden word, congruence. This is the harmony between your inner feelings and your outer expression. Example, her speech had incredible congruence because her passion was visible in her eyes.
And number 5, eloquent. To be fluent, persuasive, and graceful in your speech. Example, you were so eloquent during the interview. You spoke with such impressive clarity.
5 words, 1 goal. Absolute confidence. Pause.
What an incredible journey today! From bathroom mirrors at 2 a.m. to the sophisticated science of congruence. Elias, thank you for showing us that our best English teacher is actually looking right back at us every single morning.
My pleasure, Luna. Remember, everyone, the mirror doesn't just show you who you are, it shows you who you are becoming. Keep speaking, keep looking, and keep growing.
That's it for today's episode of Speak English with Luna. If you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button and share this with a friend who needs a boost of confidence. Now, go find a mirror and show the world and yourself how eloquent you truly are. See you next time.